already know what it is. Yeah, yo, I walk through the streets like the grand wizard of poetry. And your boy got that bling, so nigga just know it's me. Jodeci, freaking them, pick locks like shaking them. Move with a squad, does blunts with Keith in them. Gucci trench coats, military velour suits. Coat filtered through a machine, it made raw suit. Not talking Raisin Bran, when he took 2 scoops. One sniffer turned him to a dog like Big Snoop. A smooth operator, cold word 9/11. Cold word FedEx, cause I'm sending them straight to heaven. Shaka Khan, Stalker Dawn, standing on Onyx, a gold bird in the octagon. Banquets, raking in the cream on telerockethons. Wedding day, get married on me, and I'll pop your aunt, pop your papa. Claps is popular, 7 blocks long. Who shot you, is what I scream, a Big Papa song.
What they saying? How the bad actors are scrambling for the bad actions of gambling. Listening to the fake crypto frowning hard. Who didn't have the faintest idea of smashing adult cheeks undercover. He got no kids and no progeny. He hiding on the internet telling the people he's looking for glory. Controlling the minds of the brainless sheep. You had a marine guy pay for your food cause you so cheap. You look to social media for validation cause your attention serves you for your daily emasculation. Sassafras. Jamaican man told me he had no idea what the heaven was a sassafras. Old school Macintosh listening to Peter Tosh in a white tuxedo suit popping collars on a freedom yacht. Harpoon shot, unorthodox the way I box for the have-nots who have not sleeping on cots. And not afraid to get got in the field or on the block, looking up at the sky praying for the blessings to drop.
What's going on, everybody? We got Drunk on Crypto in the his house, in the building. I got DG coming in close second in the building. Pause no diddy. What's going on, everybody? Yo, real quick. Changing things up a little bit over here. Shout out to the members. Shout out to Drunk on Crypto, the members. Join the members. You know what I'm saying? You got categories right there. You got Neo Glizzy. You got Adept Glizzy. You got the Master Glizzy. You know, shout out to the members. Thanks for coming through, y'all. Check this out, man. Live and direct, hot off the presses. You got one of the icons in the hip hop industry. One of the going at none other than the head of Rock Nation. Easy. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's crazy. But guess what? It's crazy, but why am I not surprised? I think your man scrambling and scraping. You know, I'm not going to be scrambling and scraping. I think scrambling and scraping opened Pandora's box, unfortunately. Scrambling and scraping opened up Pandora's box. telling you, he spearheaded. Well, you know, that leaves a lot of room for interpretation because a lot of people had gotten caught up in the court systems and everything as far as the industry is concerned, you know, before Diddy, and many will be caught after Diddy. But this whole thing with this baby oil situation been having the whole industry on a whole nother level. Totally different. Like as far as like, wow, the expose of expose, people are not gonna stop. I'm telling you, people are not gonna stop, man. And the way it's looking, the way it's been looking for decades, for Jay-Z, he looked like he had his own version of some scrambling and scraping. Like, you know, I'm not gonna be scrambling and scraping. I should have called the stream Scrambling and Scraping. Nicki Minaj is sounding off on Rock Nation, man. On Twitter, going crazy. Those of you who are on Twitter, on X, formerly known as Twitter, man, oh man, y'all gotta take a y'all got really y'all got man tune in into the tune in. Tune in into the tune in right now. Like right now, even over here, all I could do right now is probably even read what her latest text or her latest post, I should say. Nicki Minaj just cooking Rock Nation, cooking Rock Nation. She says, and I quote, "So let me get this straight. Y'all so-called black savior, hashtag Jay-Z, has a Hispanic CEO who was pardoned by President Trump? Interesting. So does that mean Deseret isn't a Democrat? Black people, I thought y'all all hate all Trump supporters. Wait, did Jay-Z ever campaign for Kamala? He's benefited so much from the party. When President Obama gave the speech about quote unquote brothers, why didn't Jigga Man come out strongly and campaign for the Democratic Party at that time? She's on one for real, man. Could it be y'all have been hoodwinked? Woo-wee. That was so kind of President Trump. And that was so kind of President Obama to passionately go at and campaign. But what did Mr. Jigga Man do to help y'all win the election? He's above speaking out to help his party. Or was it not his party? Is it just about who can benefit him and Deseret at the time? Oh, black people, it looks like Jigga Man and Deseret played y'all once again. Laughing my LMFAO. The jig is up. And she got the emoji with Judge Judy talking about cases closed. Like I don't know what's going on, folks. Let me tell y'all something, man. It's crazy because from one perspective, when Jigga's ever facing any type of legal scrutiny, right, that I've seen, any type of legal scrutiny, he sort of like front runs it or basically nips everything in the bud before it gets a little bit too crazy. Nips it in the bud. But it's getting to a point. I mean, there's been all types of allegations and rumors and stories. We're not going to get into all of that right now, right here. Probably in the future we will. But we don't know what this is all going to bring or materialize in the future because it's just getting dark. The walls are closing in. The walls are closing in on Rock Nation, y'all. Real life stuff, real life stuff. This is a part of what I've been about as far as like just even listening to music and enjoying and being a part of the hip hop culture straight up and down. Straight up and down. Since before Jay and Hawaiian Sophie. Nah, before all that. Since you're talking early 80s. And we're talking about a group of people that are iconic in the world. Iconic. That so many people known globally. Brands that contest and compete with one another. Right? Brands that try to outshine one another. Right? It's cutthroat. When you're talking about business, I think Sean Carter himself showed you how shrewd of a businessman he can be. Over the years, it's no secret. We've seen the changes he's gone through. We've seen the levels of that he's gone through in the industry, and left so many people behind, except his quote unquote day ones. But he left so many people behind, and that on top of that, folks are saying and have been speculating for years. Not only did he leave his counterparts, his peers, maybe even his contemporaries, right? He's also left maybe some skeletons in the closet too. And folks want to get to the bottom of the bottom, and I don't know what that's about. He did something to annoy Nicki Minaj. He did something to annoy her, y'all. We don't know what how far that's gonna go, but she's been sounding. Shout out to MREC because he's been talking about this for a minute, and it's true. Many people in the media and as far as like content creation world and space, they didn't pick up on this, but he did long before what you got going on over here. So shout out to MREC TV for doing that, man, because he's another pioneer, old school media content creator. Has been in the space for at least 20 Johns, 20 decades. I mean, 20 decades. My goodness, the man's not that old. 20 years. But we watching some unfold, watching something take place. We're going to see if Jay is going to do a preemptive of a preemptive, or if he's just going to ignore like he does most of the time until it gets a little too hot. I remember last year, he had to put something out real quick when Diddy was facing his, the early stages of after Diddy was picked up by the feds. He put out a statement. Like Jay-Z had, his representatives or his lawyer legal team put out a statement going against whatever claims a lawyer was talking about, something about BuzzFeed, blah, blah, blah. Do your research if you care. Remember there was an allegation about a 13-year-old that ended up going to Radio City years ago. Long time ago, 13-year-old, and then he shut that down. Jay-Z just let me just quiet this down. Let me get a hold of this before it catches fire. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, how many times are you gonna stamp out fires? Told y'all a while ago, man, and this is true. When that whole thing happened with the whole, someone got stabbed, and because somebody leaked out a mixtape and this and that, and Jay was mad and did that in the club allegedly, all right. And Nas put out an ether. He was like, "Yo, and your man did this, and you took the blame for it." I'm gonna tell you, man. Your man was at the party. I was at the party. I didn't see all that go on. I'm not saying I was witnessing to anything, but I was at the party, and that, the Q-Tip amplified album release party. I was out. Your man was out there. And the night kind of ended the way it ended. And the next day, thing was all over the news, like it was like mayhem in the club. No, it was not mayhem. It wasn't pandemonium. And you saw, Jay with the mugshot and everything, and they just put it all on him that he allegedly, stabbed somebody, the whole the head of entertainment back then, right? And that seemed a little fishy to me. And then, but Nas already put it out. He said, "Yo, and your man is in the Ether song. If you care, go listen. And your man did the job, and you took the blame." It is what it is. But that's when they were warring, going back and forth. But it hasn't been a secret that people are not in favor of the way, maybe how they perceive Jay should have been to them in the industry, as far as content, as far not even content, as far as just a fellow artist helping another artist uplift one another, right? Remember when the whole streaming movement thing came on with Tidal and all that? There's a lot going on with Jay, yo. There's a lot going on. Was once president of Def Jam, and you see what happened to all the other artists. The contentious relationship he had with X, rest in peace, DMX, right? DMX talked about it before. I don't know if they made amends, but there's a lot that can be said as far as people just being displeased with the choices and actions and activity that Sean Carter has done. Real talk, true to form. It's what it is, folks. It's what it is. So I'm not surprised Yeah, it's another moment right now of this expose, and sadly, if if this doesn't really continue, it might just linger like it's been lingering, and we don't know if it's going to reach a head in the future. But it's like the talk of the town right now for today, and we're gonna see what comes out of it. But I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you something. So many people, like if you have one person in a situation, and so many people who may or may not communicate with one another feel a certain way about that one person, are all those people wrong for how they feel, or is not that one person somewhat of the problem? If you have one person in a situation and five people feel a certain way about that one person, and all five agree on what they feel about one individual, and the five people may not communicate with one another, may or may not, I think some of that onus lies on that one person. And maybe, listen, again, shrewd businessman. Remember, he was doing the whole thing where back in the days where water had some kind of water initiative or effort to company or business. He used to sit down with and have meetings with world financial financiers of the world and investors of the world, successful billionaires like Warren Buffett, et cetera, right? Had the whole NFL campaign, right? When you're going to stop taking a knee and do things that's more actionable. Do things that's more actionable. You had Rock Nation for and never mind the realest example of his separation from Rockefeller and what that cost. I think that was just the introduction of showing you and showing the industry where Jay stood among his peers and among everyone, except maybe for his day ones. And when Nicki mentioned Desert Rat, is a lady that is holds a high position there, a Hispanic woman, holds a high position in Rock Nation, who's known to have had some shady dealings in her past, shady criminal dealings in her past, and is also known to have worked with government officials, right, to jam up her associates that she had dealings with, criminal dealings with. Yeah, it's a little cray cray. It's a little cray cray because, in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at the streets is watching, the streets, there's a certain code that goes with that, right? Remember that whole stop snitching? That whole stop snitching campaign, when you tell, that's a major infraction. People get seriously hurt and erased for doing things like that. And then you have the head of a situation, Rock Nation, who's sitting there like conducting business, like official, like next to Jay, it's her. Next to Jay, don't seem like he's like the face of the situation, and she wields and governs the situation, right? And who's on the roster of Rock Nation? A lot of people, again, the streets is watching. You come from the bottom, you come from the Jacks, you come from from Marcy, putting in work, doing a lot of things that you probably wouldn't be proud of. Come from the bottom, out of nothing. It's open. It's in his catalog. It's in his 30, 40 years of information that's out there of his meager beginnings and his ascendance through the whole thing, starting from the street, putting in work, hustling, amassing what, 900,000 when he went OT, combined those funds with his partners, former partners back then, and built Rockefeller from the dirt. Now you have somebody, or you've had someone along with you who was also putting in serious work. Also put in serious work. And she's married to a top dog who's been putting in work too. But what happened to the code y'all be talking about? This is why y'all, some of y'all, to me, seem like things are all broken up. People are disenfranchised in a certain way. Crypto Bigfoot in the building. He said, let me see. I hear you, man. It's a quick one I'm doing, man. I try to put it together, but I didn't have the time, man. I want, I will though in the future, for sure. Show you the text message. I mean, the X posts and everything, man. I see Black Levin in the building. What's going on? ENJ Dub. The crypto fam in the building, right? But no, like this is something like it's what's not being said that people sort of like ignore. Like, okay, it's good to be thorough, a thoroughbred, official street person having this street moral code when you're in the street. But if you elevate, you're able to move out of your humble beginnings. All that morality goes out the window. All that street code goes out the window, right? I mean, I've seen people I'm like, yo, she said there's a rat. Like, hey, when do you stop being a rat? Right? I mean, when is it, I guess, acceptable? Whatever. Like, listen, man, I'm not from the street. I'm a tax-paying citizen, and I will call the police gladly. I'm not that guy. I'm not that gangster hood. I don't know. No. I know many of them. I've been, right? I've met them in my life, right? Sure. Human beings, yeah. But do I partake in any of that shit? No way. Because I'm not good. I'm not good at doing anything criminal because I get caught. I'm not even good cheating on a test. I got caught. I remember in school by my teacher, I thought I was being slick. I can't do it. Like, it's just not, it hasn't been me. Like, I can't even, man, I was doing math. It was a math problem, bro. A math problem. And I'm in class. The test is almost over. I mean, the class is almost over. People are getting, when you're taking a test, right? And class is almost over and you still there taking a test, but you hearing everybody else getting up. Man, I felt like going to the bathroom to urinate. I'm like, yo, I'm starting to sweat. And so I glanced over somebody's page, like, yo, man, the last answer to, this and that and this. And guess what the teacher, eyes of a hawk, saw what I was doing and said, Light Wonder, come over here, please. Come over here, please. Meanwhile, a bunch of people, there's a lot of distractions. Kids are getting up. My former peers were getting up, giving the test exams. And I'm nervous because I want to leave. I don't want to be there anymore. I'm under pressure. So I just glanced over. I'm like, oh, it's 45. The answer's 45. Okay. Before I finish writing the 5, Light Wonder, come up from your test. Come up from your desk, please. Give me a test. And exposed. I never cheated again. I couldn't handle it, man. I can't do, when I try, man. Nah. I remember I was in a store. And back then I'm trying to get some markers. Because, I liked, art, but there was these special markers. They were called design markers. These things, man, you create art. It looks like spray paint on paper. I mean, so fire, but it was so expensive at the time. I saw somebody switch some stickers, the price stickers on one item and switch it and put it on something else. I tried to do that with the markers, and guess what happened? Oh, my parents were embarrassed by my actions, and guess what happened to me when I got home? No, it didn't work. It didn't work. And the second time was me cheating on the test, and then there was no third time after that. I can't do nothing bad, man. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Tail 7 in the building. See Tail 7, huh? Tail 7 in the building. Nicki Minaj is flooding Rock Nation. Flooding is a crypto vernacular terminology that we use to talk about fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And Nicki Minaj is expressing her thoughts, her feelings, her ideas, her opinions, her displeasure against Rock Nation and everything represented by Rock Nation, starting from the top. Starting from the top. From Jay and Desiree Perez. You had some people like when Westside Gun and them, the whole Griselda, they joined Rock Nation. I was like, yo, these people don't care about her past. Like, y'all, like these guys underground, hardcore, raw energy. Like and they all put work in the streets too. I have all types of stuff going on, and going to Rock Nation, and people like, hey, it made me question in the sense like, oh, it doesn't matter no more that you're working with somebody who ratted on a whole criminal organization and got them jammed up and everything. So I guess it's cool. I guess y'all, everybody evolves. We evolve, man. What's the problem? I'm not judging them. I'm just calling them how I see it. All these people that put in Fat Joe. You know how many stories I used to hear about Fat Joe? Like real stories I used to hear about Fat Joe, yo. The work that meant, like, yo, like I'm telling you, bro, like it was just like, oh, this that guy. He's that guy. Not just for rapping either. You talk about late 80s, early 90s, the whole 90s. The whole 90s. The stuff I used to hear about Fat Joe in the street. Oh, and now you joining Ragnar, and then this lady, and then it's just so that street code thing, honor and not snitching, and this and this, stop snitching, that blah blah blah. It's just fugaga, fugazi. That doesn't, you know what I mean? It's like, what is that? That's a code for people who just don't understand, and that's a code for people who live that life and just abide by it. Because I listen, man, I'm telling, I don't care. I love my freedom. But that's not the point. The point is, yo, Nicki Minaj, I don't know what her Barbie supporters are gonna do, if that even matters. But is on Rock Nation helmet right now. On Rock Nation helmet. And it's nasty work too, because you saw what happened with R. Kells. You saw what happened to Kells. Everybody who in the industry or who understands R&B saw what happened to Kells. And you know what's crazy? The man's music was impeccable. Impeccable. But then when I started hearing about some surviving R. Kells, yo, I felt bad playing the music, bro. Like some subconsciously, I stopped playing that John. And I'm mad about it. Because I grew up on some 12 play all the way up to, I didn't really like the whole public announcement, but I grew up on some 12 play all the way up to his last John. Like kind of, like, I mean, come on, man. Chocolate Factory? Come on, son, man. Like, come on, bro. But you saw what happened with R. Kells and Jay. Two egos clashing. Best of both worlds. Oh, best of both worlds. Oh, it could have been something. I felt it. That song right, I felt something back then, man. When was that? 2000, 2001, 2, sometime. I felt something back. Best of both worlds. Oh, that you see, and that's not the first song that comes to mind when I think about some Kells. And then it's messed up. That whole thing, the surviving, it's crazy. But then you gotta go, you gotta trace it back to Aaliyah. Like it's weird. It's weird. Capital W EIRD, bold letters, and people have been talking about Jay for years too, man. I'm jumping on the bandwagon because why not? Why not? Free country. I did a thing for all the people who don't know. Like I did a thing called like participate in a sacrifice for freedom of speech. By the way, and the thing I sacrifice for is just like meager results. But that we're not doing that anyway. Like you can't. Best and Aaliyah. You're one in a million. It go on and on. Rest in peace. On million all day long. Like, I mean, come on, man. I know some of y'all gonna go back and play that song, yo. That beat that Timbaland crafted. When I heard the 1 in a million beat, when I heard the 1 in a million beat, people, I had to play that like so many times because I never heard that type of sequence. It was so fire and original. I'm like, yo, what is this? And then the angelic voice, it is out let it heartbeat and when it all I need. You gotta play it. I know y'all gonna play. You feel like playing it in the background probably right now. Right now. Only saying to as only with you. Oh, bro. This is how on the heartbeat is when you all I need. See, I get it. I get it. I get it. I mean, come on, man. But the whole thing, man. They had history. They meaning Kells and Jigga Man had history with that girl. And they were saying, the whole underage story, the whole underage narrative, bruh. Foxy Brown, like that whole Il Nana. Remember Il Nana? Remember Il Dum, 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 dum. Oh, come on, man. 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 Dum, 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 dum. And then I'm hearing I'm also, kind of like I was just looking at I'm like, yo, this girl fire, bro. And you were Jigga Man. You fired this fire. But then the whiff was like became like, oh, is whiff that way? You with in that way. Damn, son, that's kind of cringe. She was in high school, bro. This dude with the short sleeves and the cabana shirts, the guayabera shirts, and the hat, and the big cigar, and then you with the girl, and then it's like you with the girl on the extra special. That's not cool, bro. Come on, man, that's not cool, bro. Like, it, and we talking 95. 30 years ago. Like this is why like now it's like because what's gonna happen is this is what the truth is gonna come to light. You got people like Jaguar Wright that's been exposing this guy for filth. They were like, yeah, she was like, yeah, Diddy scrambling and scraping. No, scrambling and scraping. Take that. Scrambling and scraping. You think he's bad? The real guy y'all need to really look at is Jay-Z. That was her. Then people don't really take her word like that because she gives shock information, and people don't really. I don't know, man. It's like people don't really respect her point of view like that. But Jay been, come on, man, choke no joke. Been cooking Jay for like, come on, bro. For all the bad business, what he did to Beanie Siegel, bro. And even Dame Dash, you got to throw him in that mix too, man. Oh man, it's just so many angles, so many avenues, so many everything. But what I'm saying about what Jay and his day ones, oh, he took care of some Tata. Tata don't have to worry about nothing. Tata didn't have to lift one microphone, set for life. Took care of them, took care of him, took care of Bleak. Bleak, great. Bleak grandkids, great grandkids will be great the way Jay-Z take care of them. You know what I mean? And whoever else, maybe nine in the public eye. Maybe nine in the public eye. Jay tried to do something with the guy that used to own Jack Dorsey. Is it Jack Dorsey? The guy that used to own Twitter? Is that his name? I don't know. But he tried to do a Bitcoin Academy. I don't know how that initiative worked out. Maybe back in the early pandemic days, they tried to initiate Bitcoin Academy to teach young kids in the projects about Bitcoin over where he's at in Marcy. So he's always been trying to also, just challenge and test the business side of things. And I have to respect that on a certain level, but I don't respect leaving your people behind. And I don't know. That's me. But I'm not rich like him. So Bay, Bay. But the crazy thing, like, look at Bay. Yo, Bay, Bay. The whole Beyonce situation, bro. Like, let me tell you, man. Shout out to Beyonce, right? Oh man, like that's why it's gonna get kind of crazy. I feel bad because it's crazy. Look what Jay did with Yeezy and all them. Like Kanye, the history this man has with people are just so fractured. People have so many things, like it's just weird. But the whole thing, like even with Bay, this is gonna be, I think, when their story, if it ever, is told by way of some type of interview, documentary, mini series, whatever you want to call it, when their story gets told, I think it's going to raise eyebrows. I don't know why Beyonce is sort of like kept in the dark for over 20 years. I'm not talking about her performing. I'm not talking about her performing, yo. And maybe because the whole paparazzi life, the whole public image, public exposure, being in the light of the public is not something that maybe Jay wanted for her, or maybe she wanted for herself. But that's why you don't see her being interviewed. And when you do see her in an interview, I look at her eyes and I'm like, yo, why does she look like she's empty? You know what I'm saying? This is a performer. This is a celebrity. This is an artist, like a creative, a natural talent, God-given talent, who's affected the lives of so many people, right? The Beehive and all that. Like, it's a cultural phenomenon. And when you interview her, look at her old interviews, whatever you could find. There's very little, next to no depth in her thoughts, in her answers. Forget about thoughts. Sad, bro. Like, what's that? And then to me, it seemed like it became exacerbated once she paired up with Sean Carter. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong, blah, 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 whatever. But, because, what's crazy is back in, I think it was 2010, bruh, and bless them. But when they told me, meaning the world told me the news media outlets had told me that, her and Jay were pregnant and about to have their first child. You know what the sentiment in the populace was in the streets? You know what the sentiment was? It was like, yo, we don't know if that's all right and exact right there. That's how I'm gonna leave it right there. We don't know if it's right and exact. I think this was 2010-ish. You know what I mean? Like, and then when it came time to deliver, I don't know if y'all remember, but Lenox Hill was a place where she delivered, quote unquote. The whole floor was just shut down and just for them. The whole entire floor of the hospital, Lenox Hill, Upper East Side, in New York. Shut down the whole floor. Why is that? I don't know. Nobody knows. Maybe they, again, super private, want to keep things exclusive. They don't want no public eye, anything, very to themselves, right? Or it could be something else. We'll see. In any case, folks, I'm going to catch y'all with that. I'm going to leave y'all with that, actually, and catch y'all on the next one. Take care. Peace.